Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Deal Money webinar. And thanks for taking your time out on the holiday and attending our webinar on where to bet in this volatile markets. Uh, I know it's been the hard time for last 1.5 months, where market has seen a correction from right from 12,400 to back to 76, 7,700, and we are very much on the volatile, and we have seen one of the most volatile in the history of the Nifty, where India VIX is surpassed 70 percentile. Average Nifty volume is around 3 to 4%. Yes, it's been the hard time for and a trader as well as investor. But we at the Deal Money Research are providing you with the strong insights, and uh, we have been conveying since more than a month that the focus should be very much on the short side, short term based rather than the long term based. Now, when market has seen a strong comeback right from 7,500 to 9,000, we think that it is a good time for an investor to enter into the market. If we look at in today's webinar, what we'll be looking at, what are the parameters where we think that market is bottom out. I would not say exactly the bottom out, but it is a good time considering the valuation, considering the macros number, and yes, COVID-19 or coronavirus, we are witnessing for the first time, and this pandemic scenario, which we are witnessing is for the first time. I guess everyone is audible. The voice is very much clear. You can type in the question that voice is clear or not. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the voice is clear. Okay. Okay. So in today's session, where we think the opportunity lies is the sector where we think the stocks where we think could be an opportunity through this falling markets, and we will be deal money will be recommending some of the stocks name also, where we think then more than 1 year's point of view could be the strong contender on the higher side. Okay. So, starting out with the deal money, what are we? We are basically a full-fledged financial service organization, and we are into this industry since 2006. So, you can say more than a decade of experience. We are into these markets for nearly more than 15 years now. We have a strong credentials of shareholders. We have in terms of clients, in the terms of investors. Okay, so we are very much into the market for quite long now, nearly 15 years into the markets, and we have seen 2008 with 2013, 2016, and now 2020. So we are more experienced brokers into the markets, which are nearly more than 15 years. We have a professional management with established track records. So we have leaders which are into the markets for more than 2 to 3 decades. We have a sales team who are into the markets for nearly 2 decades, and we have a research team who are into the markets, have seen more than 2 to 3 falls. We have experienced team into equity. We have experienced team into commodities. We have experienced team into real estate. We have experienced team into mutual funds, insurance, everything. The product you name, we have every expertise into uh, our company. So we are a financial have a financial baskets, providing each and every service. to plan your financials. We have a differentiated products and services which can help you to cater your financial needs, which you can plan 20 years down the line, 30 years down the line, for your child, for your parents, and all the services, product and services we are offering at Deal Money. And to be a proud, we have a strong relationship with clients with more than nearly more than 1 lakh clients we have. So yes, we have a strong relationship. We have been touch basing for last 15 years each and every clients, and to be a proud, clients are with us more than a decade now, so we have experienced team which caters such clients. What do we offer? Okay. We offer broking, which means equity, commodity, currency, derivatives, and we have a expertise team into all the segment. We have expertise team for equity, maybe it the research, maybe it the sales team, we dealing team, back office team. We have expertise in all the broking segments you want. We have a professional wealth management team which caters PMS, model portfolio, insurance, mutual funds, and also we have third party products which we offer into the insurance space, into the mutual fund space, and in case you want Reliance, you want Bharti AXA insurance, we have all for you at one platform. We have a distribution of various financial services and financial products. We have a core experienced research team who provides reports on fundamentals, who provide reports on technical. We have a industry reports also. So this webinar which you are attending are from our research desk, and myself, I am Brijesh, heading the research desk. So you have each and everything what a finance planning is needed. And also we provide real estate services, so we have tied up with larger builders like Rusta into the various pan India projects. So you will be offered the best in class real estate products which will be beneficial to you all. So we are very much clear into the real estate that we are not focusing on the small brokers where the projects are tied up for long time. We are tied up with the at the builders where they deliver the projects on time. So that's are the best in class real estate services also which we prefer. So in case what all you need to your have your financial management, we have each and everything at one end at Deal Money you can prefer. Okay, so where can you get in touch with us? We have branches, 12, 17 branches pan India. We have more than 2100 franchises across India. Okay. We are into the 12 states of India. So we have into major all the metros. We are into Mumbai, we are into the Delhi, we are into the Kanpur, Lucknow, Calcutta, Chennai, Coimbatore, Bangalore. So you name the city, we are into the major cities pan India. So you can get in touch anytime. Just a phone call is needed, and our expertise sales team will get in touch with you, and they will clear all your queries. Okay. So also most importantly, we have what we are offering at the Deal Money. So trading with Deal Money is very much easier. The platform is user friendly. We are giving you real time quotes, a single window to invest into commodity, currency, equity, IPO, mutual funds, everything. So there is a single window where you can use this various asset class, and you can invest in any asset class which you think are there. And even in case you have any doubt, you can just call us, get our expert advice where to invest, what to invest, and how much to invest. When is the best time to invest in the mutual fund? It is the best time to invest in the IPO. What are the currency views? What are the commodity views? What are the stock views? So you can anytime ask, and you can anytime invest from our single window. And most importantly, we have streamless payment gateway. So we have tied up with various leading banks. You can anytime transfer via the app. So we have a seamless payment gateway. And yes, most importantly, our back office is live 24 by 7. So in case at 11 p.m. also, in case you need your statement, in what trade have you done, you need your profit and loss account, anytime just log into your back office, to our back office, or from the mobile app, you will get everything at your hand. Okay, and most importantly, we have expertise team in each and every segment. As I said, we have expertise team in equity, we have expertise team uh, in insurance, we have expertise team in mutual funds, we have expertise team in real estate. So in case you have any need from for any asset class, we have expertise team. And in case we have a good strong platform on the mobile trading also. So in case you are on the go when there is a network problem, you can get in touch with our dedicated and expert research team, which will help you to help in your trading. Okay. So we have a in-house software which is known as Deal Money Pro, and from that you can download from your Android, or you can download from your Android. You can download from your Apple Store also. So we have one of the best Deal Money Pro mobile trading app, where if you want the real time trades, we have refreshing, and most importantly, the app which we are using to refresh the rates, they are using very low latency, which means that your internet usage is very low. It works on all exchanges, be it NSE, be it BSC, be it MCX or NCDX, and the which are the leading platforms, iOS and Android. We have app for both. So you can get in download from your app store for Android or iOS. And you don't need to go anywhere for our research calls. You can anytime go to our research tab and look for an actionable researchable research trades which we are recommending during the day, which we are recommending for a long term, which we are recommending for a mid-term point of view. So you can get each and every call in your Deal Money Pro app. And yes, as I say, we have a wealth management one stop all for financial needs. So in case you can get in touch with anything, you want real estate planning services, you want PMS, you want diversified basket, you want advisory services, you want mutual fund, insurance, everything we provide at Deal Money and it's just a one stop shoppy, like DMart. You prefer each and every household stuffs. So like DMart, it's a Deal Money where you will find each and everything for your financial needs. So just in case, you can also download the Deal Money Pro app, go for look at the research available, calls available there. We are uploading videos also over there for your educational stuff, for the markets view, and you can find everything over there. In case you have anything related problem related to Deal Money Pro, we have a expertise team. You can get in touch with our customer care team. In any case, you have any doubts regarding your accounts, regarding your any products, you can get in our customer team. They will help it out. Yeah. So coming on to the markets, what we will be learning today is Dow Jones 100 years of analysis we have done. What are the economic numbers indicating? What are the sectors impacted by this coronavirus? Stories from charts. We are being have included some of the charts of the global markets like Dow Jones, Nikkei, DEX, and we have also focused on India like Nifty. What it is showing, what are the Nifty 500 is indicating, and at the end we'll be recommending some of the stocks which one should bet from a 1 year's point of view, or probably more than 1 year's point of view, with the targets which we have mentioned. And the sectors which we are most impacted by COVID, we will be discussing in details why we think are these sector most impacted, less impacted, or moderately impacted. So we'll be discussing in detail with across these sectors. Okay. So first, look at this chart, and this most important chart. We have included 100 years of Dow Jones. Why? Because we don't have data of NSE. It's been nearly now around 25, 27 years of data for Nifty. But if I just look at the 100 years, we have only Dow Jones data. So that's the reason we have taken Dow Jones. And being the father of the world on the market side, that's the reason we think Dow Jones seems to be a very much effective considering the longer term horizon. Okay, so what does it impact? If you look at, we have included all the recession into this chart. Okay, every recession since 1929, which is known as the one of the most great depression of 1929, and because it lasted for the long, so there were couple of two three reasons why it lasted for nearly 9 years. First, it was the New Deal which government has started. Though the Mr. Franklin was at that time the president of US, and he has come up with new reforms, and that's the reason we have seen global markets, especially that point of time there was lesser markets being trading into the world, and US markets were largely hit by these reforms, which was majorly focused by Mr. Franklin on the government side. So that's the reason we have seen first leg of downfall in 1929, where the new reforms were launched. Second, if I just look at to it fell till 1931, 1932, because during the they were planning the World War plan was going on, and most of the funds were used into the defense. So there were slight lack of funds at that point of time, and it lasted till 1938. But if you look at the fall of Dow Jones, it just fell for 2 years. And by the time recession was over in 1937, 1938, Dow was already three and a half times from the lower levels, which means that by the time recession complete is over, we are witnessing that Dow Jones has recovered nearly three and a half times, even after falling around 90% or 89%. The returns were nearly three and a half times by the time a recession was complete. This is not the only one scenario we have. Even if you look at the each and every scenario in the on the screen, we have included 1949 also, where the unemployment rate has reached around 7.9% or nearly 8%. So if you look at the fall, it was a short-lived fall. It was a fall of around three and a half months, where it fell around 18%. And if you look at by the time the unemployment numbers start to recover from 7.9 to 7, Dow Jones was already up around 43%. Similarly, not only these two scenarios, even if you look at the 1973 1975, where crude oil prices war started, and US started to go for the shale gases, due to this Iran and Iraq, the other Arab countries were quoting the higher crude oil prices, and this impacted, because at that point of time US was the highest consumption of the crude oil or the fuel. So if you look at the quadrupling oil prices war in 1973, Dow Jones just fell 43% in couple of months. And by the time this war was over, from 1973 to 19 probably the late 1973 and start of 1974 to 1975, in 1 year it recovered nearly 70%. So, what are we indicating? That recession is a short-lived for the global markets. Even if you look at the 1987, which is just known as the tax bill, introduction of tax bill and trade deficit at that point of time. Uh, so at that point of time, even if you look at the Dow Jones action, it fell nearly 41%. But by the time the tax bill impact was over, and that just was a couple of months of fall, and in 1 month the Dow Jones fell nearly 33%. Second month it was down around 7.5 8%, and from there it has recovered nearly 50% from the lower levels. So yes, and even if you look at the dot-com bubble, where Indian Nifty was very much active at that point of time, 2001 to 2003, we have similarly fall and rise, V-shape recovery. In 2008 also, subprime mortgage, we have recovered 54% fall and recovered 70%. And if I just compare with 2020 fall, the recent fall, this is the pandemic fall or the coronavirus fall, where there is a problem of slowdown. I would not say we have moved into the recession. IMF have clearly indicated that we are moving into the recession, but for us, if we just compare it with the previous recession falls, okay, there were recession, there were slowdown, and even if I just look at the 2008, where most of our looking at the comparing the current fall with 2008 2009, 2008 2009, the fall was due to the leverage and the mortgage, the subprime mortgage. What happened that people were buying the house, they were taking on rent and they were subletting their houses. So there was a problem of leveraging of the funds, and that leveraging of the funds have clearly has the problems on the bond market. At current point of time, we don't think that such leveraging has happened as of now. Yes, we have seen correction due to the pandemic issue, longs unwinding, markets were at all time high, but we have already fallen around 35 to 38% from higher levels on the Dow Jones as well as the Nifty. We think even if you look at the average move, it's around 37 to 40% fall, apart from 1929, where it was the problem of the world war, it was the problem of the new tax regime, the dust which lasted for longer time. And apart from that, even if you look at the any recession, by the time recession is over, the fall, the equity indices come back very strongly, and we think the similar scenario might happen in 2020 2021 also. Probably another 3 months where we might see that Nifty or Dow Jones might trade in a range or a negative biased. Probably we are expecting from June or July and or max September, we are expecting this market to come very strongly, and we might see a huge comeback from the Dow Jones, huge comeback from the other equity markets. Even if you look at, we will be sharing some of the charts of the Dow Jones, of the DAX, of the Nifty, of the Nikkei, and we will be indicating that what are the views are developing on the charts. So we clearly think that this recession are short lived on equity markets, and this is, we are still we would say that this is a slowdown, and yes, there is hamper of economic crisis, and even if you look at the China, which we will be discussing in forward, China is coming back strongly after 3 months. And what are the reasons we think China is coming back strongly, which we will be discussing in our macros segment. The numbers which are coming up from China are very strong. So let's move on to the macro space now. Okay. So first slide is the quantitative easing or relief fund, which most of the countries are releasing. Even we have seen that US have given 2 trillion dollars, European are giving around $750 million. India is also giving the relief fund for the coronavirus, to fight against the coronavirus. Okay. If you look at these bars, the gray bars are the US and the blue bars are India. If you look at the US, they are about 91, 95, 100, 102, 105, 106. What does this mean? At the government debt to GDP, which means that if the GDP is 100, that debt is around 106 at current point of time. So they are, even if you look at the payments which the government is issuing, or the packages which are the government is giving, they are already above their GDP. Now, if we just look at the India, we are very well below 70 percentile, which means that we still have a 30% space to give the relief fund. Okay, so coming on to the leveraging part, we are very much lower than the US. And even if you look at the 2008, where the subprime issue was there due to the leverage, India was the least hit because of this GDP, government debt to GDP ratio. US was coming up with various quantitative easing. Europe was coming up with the various quantitative easing. India was the least hit by this recession. And even if you look at the other numbers, also macro numbers, we were less hit with this impact of the relief fund or quantitative easing, which government has announced. So we still have 70% cushion, and we are not yet hit the leverage levels. So this government debt to ratio indicate government debt to GDP ratio indicate that we are very much a positive on our government. We are, even though government has spent some of on the coronavirus packages, we still think that we are very much on the safer side compared to the other developed countries. Second, the growth rate. Even if you look at the, as we have indicated that 2008, 2009, where US was hit majorly, India was not hit majorly. You can clearly see on the screen the first chart, which is the US chart. Okay. Now, if you look at 2008, 2009 over here, okay, 2008, 2000, we have seen degrowth into the US. GDP has gone into the negative side. So GDP growth rate has gone into the negative side towards 3.8%. So we have seen degrowth in US. And if I look at the India in 2008, 2009, we were very much at around 3.5 percentile on the positive side. So at that point of time, also we were very much stronger on the GDP growth rate. US was degrowing, and at current point of time, also India is very much ahead on the economic side against the US. Yes, looking at the US equity markets on or the Dow Jones S&P, we might have a catalyst effect on the Indian equities also, but the catalyst effect what would not be the great like the US might have. So we think India is still in a better position on the economic front, looking at the US numbers. On the unemployment side, US unemployment, which is the most important data, and we have seen in 1974 also, this was clearly hit by the unemployment number, which rallied to around 7.9%. So if you look at the 2008, where unemployment number was shooting like anything, yes, 2020 we have seen a upsurge in the March number. Probably we might see a slight upsurge in April number also, because US is facing the most COVID positive cases. And they, if we look at the COVID positive cases in India compared to the other countries, Mr. Modi ji also have said in the current morning 10 a.m. Conference that we are very much on the safer side and on the positive cases. We are expecting, yes, this US employment number might see upsurge in the May numbers, which is the April data which we release, but we are not expecting as scary as 2008, the numbers where unemployment numbers went from right to 4 percentile to 10 percentile. But even if you look at the 2008, 2010 to 2020, this unemployment number has dipped to now nearly 3.5% for US. So this number we are expecting to reach by around 5.5% in the April, but it is still not as scary as 2008 was. This is and we are expecting that probably if you look at the China, China has come back very strongly due to this virus in 3 months. And if we look at the probably the 2020, the pandemic issue, we are expecting another couple of months where these unemployment number might see a upsurge in US, but working would come back very strongly in US and India both. Yes, China has taken from January to March, and if you look at the mid of March, the most of the 60% of the companies are now operating into the China. So it was around 2.5 of pain for China, and we are expecting that yes, India or other countries like US, Italy, UK, and other European countries also, we might face another 2.5 months total of the pain into the working style. And we have already nearly completed 1.5 months of the complete slowdown or shutdown. Probably another 1 month, and by June, we are expecting by mid of May or probably by late of May, we are expecting these companies to work nearly 75% capacity again. So yes, it is a pain for a couple of months. US unemployment number could be surging in the April numbers and probably the May numbers also, but we are expecting it to reach by 5.5 or probably 6, and we are not expecting to test again 10, which were most scary in 2008, 2009. So yes, unemployment number would slightly be a scary for a couple of months for US, but overall we think could come back strongly. Yes, interest rate scenario. Okay, so we have seen since 2010 to 2015, 2016, US have kept its interest rate stagnant from 0.25 to 0.5%. Slowly, steady, they increased their interest rate, and if due to the pandemic issue, uh, US came aggressively to cut its interest rate to increase its liquidity, because they were very much faster in identifying that there could be the economic problem if in case they won't decrease the interest rate. So they have come very strongly from 2.25% back to 0.75% now. India has, yes, in the recent have we have seen that India has also cut this interest rate, but as of now we think yes, interest rate is under control for India and US both. So they might come back very strongly, and it is just a matter of 3 to 6 months, and probably economic would be very much back stronger, like China is coming again. Yes, this is the number which we are indicating. So this is the PMI number, which means that manufacturing index. And this manufacturing index, if you look at the average since 2012, it used to be range in the between 48 to 52. With the UN one where coronavirus exploded in January, we have seen this PMI number slipping back to nearly 37, 38 levels. Okay, and look at the numbers on the March numbers. They are coming up very strongly. The March numbers have come back above 51 levels. So, which means that China is again operating very strongly. And Mr. President have clearly indicated that China is again back at work, and they will come back strongly. Nearly 60% of their industries are now working again. Yes, there might be a couple of months of problem for other countries on the export side, and we'll be discussing in the sector wise where we are look in the further slides. But overall we think China has come back very strongly. India and US also will come very strongly, looking at the PMI number of China. Yeah, so this is the most important sectors which impacted by the coronavirus. Okay, so we have categorized these sectors into three parts. First is highly impacted. So on the highly impacted side, these are the sector: automobiles and ancillaries, automobile ancillaries, construction and engineering, aviation and tourism, metals and mining, consumer durables and electronics. So if I just will be discussing these into details, why we think these sectors are highly impacted. The moderate impacted sectors are apparels and textiles, BFSI, banking, financials and insurance, chemicals and petrochemicals, oil and gas. These are the moderately impacted sectors due to this COVID-19. And the least impacted sectors are food and agriculture, IT, pharma, power, and telecom. So, if you look at the recent pharma's momentum, pharma is trading at nearly 10 months high level from the pharma index. So, pharma has come back very strongly. And if we look at these sector, we will be discussing in detail. We will be discussing what to focus on commodities also. So we have included crude oil views also on our webinar today. So these are the sectors we'll be discussing in details. So first is the automobiles and auto ancillaries. The impact is very much high because if you look at the employment number on the downside, the total employment number is 40 million, and if you look at the automobiles, it's around 7.1%. Auto components around 2.3% of this 40 million. Okay, and even if you look at the domestic automobile demand, it will slow and steady decrease because the spending power will slow and steady decrease from current point of time. So this sector will take time. People will avoid buying luxury cars or necessity, or as the cars are not the necessity products, are not the essential products, so they will be avoiding as of now buying onto the cars. Even if you look at the smaller cars, where around 3 lakh 5 lakhs basket is there, they people will also avoid such buying as of now. So and even if you look at the government restrictions from moving BS4 to BS6, so the BS compliance 6 are at the higher pricing than the BS4. So that will also have a double sword for these auto companies. And the export markets are the major key export market are US, Mexico, Bangladesh, Africa, and other Asian countries. So we think this is the major hit, highly hit markets, auto and auto accessories, which will be take time to recover. I would say we will be focusing on this company specific on auto number auto companies, because if you look at the companies like Maruti or companies like Daewoo, which are into the entry segment cars, and if I just look at the Indian market, we are have Maruti, which are the highest price for the car is around 13 to 15 lakhs, and it generally focuses on the entry level cars. So that might not impact on the higher side compared to the other companies like Mercedes Benz, BMW. And in a couple of yesterday only, we have seen a comment from Mercedes Benz management coming that they will re strategize their India markets, which means that clearly looking at that this sector will be a slowdown. So we think these would be now a sector specific automobiles company. But yes, it is highly impacted due to coronavirus, and we might see a slow and steady coming back from these automobiles company. And even we think that two wheeler would be the sales number would decrease drastically. Even if you look at the transportation, like Ashok Leyland, Tata, which are into the commercial, Mahindra, which are into the commercial space, might see a hit due to this, because business might come onto the stream or onto the stage where it was previous. So we think auto and automobiles would be a largely hit. Apparel and textile would be a moderate hit, because yes, it are, I would say, a part of essentials, a part of luxurious. So if I just look at the contribution to GDP, it's around 2% contribution to GDP, and we have 45 million employment in this. But yes, if I just look at the impact or due to this coronavirus, we might avoid buying the luxurious products like brands which are the foreign brands into the India. But yes, some of the necessities could be bought. So we think it could be a moderate into this COVID hit. Okay. Yes, aviation and tourism. Yes, this is the most hit, and we have seen that last couple of months, all the travel plans has been cancelled. The bookings which have been there, government has clearly indicated that they have to cancel and the amount to be refunded. We have seen aviation industries hitting aggressively. Planes are landed onto the airports. Domestic flights also has been cancelled. People are not allowed to travel abroad, or even internal flights, domestic flights are also banned. So these are the majorly hit industry due to this coronavirus. Second, if I just look at the tourism also, and the tourism industry is around 22 billion USD, and it has been shrinking by nearly 25% in 2020. So we think there could be a nearly a 50 million job loss into this sector. So if I just look at the number, 42.7 billions are already into their industry employment numbers. And aviation industry, if you look at the government spendings, it's around 38 billion for 2021. Tourism is around 25 billion, which they have indicated in the budget, and we have taken this from the RBI data. Uh, and if I just look at the key states which will be most important, which will be affecting to this, is the Maharashtra, Kerala, UP, Ladakh, Gujarat, Tamil Nadu, Rajasthan, and Goa, because these are the states which aggressively focus on tourism. So this state would be, yes, hit very strongly due to this aviation and tourism industry. Banking and financial space, it would be the moderate effect, and one major impact for these banking or financial name would be the government which has taken this step due to this EMI moratorium. Uh, what it will impact is, if I just look at, in case, say I am paying around 20,000 of EMI, or say 25,000 of EMI per month, or say even 15,000. So there are n number of people who are taking this benefit of EMI moratorium. But yes, I would again say it is negative for bank at current point of time, and it is negative for the individual who are taking this EMI moratorium, because they have to pay higher EMIs later on. But yes, at short point of time, yes, they it is a negative for banking and financial space. And even if you look at the RBI latest financial stability report, which was projecting the GNPA to rise to around 9.3% of total assets, and if we look at the numbers, from 9.3, they are expecting to 10.5, and generally 10% is known as about 10%. Anything is known as severe stress scenario, as per the RBI benchmark. So yes, this it be moderately impacted. And why we are thinking moderately impacted? Because it is a short lived and it is not a long lived or the longer term impacted due to this automobiles or aviation industry, but this is a short lived, we think, from a COVID point of view. Construction and engineering, yes, this is the most, because government spendings on the infra is the higher side, and with the coronavirus coming into this, most of the fund has now moved into the COVID packages. So we think yes, this will be impacted. And if I just look at the daily wages worker, this industry has the most daily wages worker across in world, not only India, they across world. Even if you look at the across world, these are the industry, construction engineering, where the daily labors are the most compared to other industries. So if I just look at the sector contribution to GDP by these industries, sector is 9%, so which is very much higher. And employment number, which is around 51 million. So out of 51 million, if I just look at the daily wage labor, around 40% are daily wager, which means that around 20 millions are daily wager. So it's being this will be impacted very strongly. And even if you look at when this lockdown was announced, lockdown, people were moving on from cities or metros to their villages because there was no work for them. And being the daily work, daily wager, they can't afford the standard of living into the metros or into the cities. So that's the reason they are moving again back to their hometown. That was the only reason. And yes, this sector will highly impact because construction engineering will take time to come on track. And daily wages labor which are there into the industry will come back slow and steady. They will not come back very aggressively. They will try to find some of their jobs around their hometowns. So we think this is the construction and engineering will take time, around probably more than nearly a year to come back on the track. So new investment which were expected to on the road infrastructure was around 16.6 billion. And we might think that it might, government might slow and steady invest at a staggered manner now, looking at the packages which they have given to the COVID patients or COVID doctors and all those stuffs. Pharma, yes, as we have seen that pharma is trading nearly 9-10 months high. uh, why? This is the only reason because India being the net importer of pharma bulk drugs from China. And if you look at the globally, China used to supply these generic products. And after the China, India is the one of the biggest market for generic products or generic medicines. And China being taking a pause, all the countries for January and February were taking raw materials from India. And even if you look at, if we think that China has come back strongly, but India being the largest pharma generic product markets, we think India will have a good play into this pharma space. And most importantly, if you look at the pharma market into the India, the pharma market size is around $55 billion in 2019-2020. Job creation, direct or indirect, we have around 2.7 million. So we think yes, pharma is the biggest beneficial for this COVID-19 pandemic, and we are very much positive on the pharma space. And we are expecting still pharma. If we look at the 2013, 2014, and probably 2015, where the tops were formed for major of the stocks, 5 years, nearly half a decade, we haven't seen any contribution from the pharma stocks. And pharma coming back very strongly is the most beneficial for these markets. So we think pharma would continue its upward journey. And we have also included one of the pharma stock which is outperforming, and not only outperforming on the price action, but it is outperforming on its profit scale, on its business scale. So we'll be discussing in the further slides also, where we are recommending some of the stocks. So we think yes, pharma would be the one of the beneficial, and we think still think that 30-35% upside can be expected on the pharma sector. Chemicals and petrochemicals, China being the one of the leading chemical and petrochemical country, and India being the sixth largest chemical and petrochemical producer in the world, which contributes nearly 3.5% of the global chemical industries. As these are the numbers as per 2018, 2019, 2019-20 number are yet to be come out, but we think this is after the China. Most of the countries are now taking chemicals from and petrochemicals from India. So yes, if you look at the domestic production, we are around 27.8 million tons, metric tons. Domestic consumption is around 37 per million metric. So we are sufficing most of the production into the India, and we think yes, China impact would be least now due to this COVID, but this sector is least impact. I would say moderately impacted on the due to this COVID. One sector, yes, we are see there might be a contra view on the moderate and low for the IT space, but we think it is the moderate because travel restrictions are across all the countries, which is a positive for the IT companies due to their revenues will be on the positive side. Okay. Most of the IT are the project oriented or the software oriented or the backend oriented, and these IT are working from work from home is very much capable. Industry is very much capable of doing work from home. So we think these are the two reasons, yes, which not impact most of the IT space. Third reason we think it will not impact is the USD INR, which if you look at the USD INR, it is trading at around 76 and a half. So yes, funds inflow would be there, but yes, at slower pace. One negative for we think it will be covidly hit IT space is the new projects which will be getting delayed. Money might come slowly, but yes, new projects might be delayed. So this is the one negative thing we think from the IT space. But yes, we think IT is less impacted, and even if you look at the price action, we think IT will come back very strongly. If you look at the employment size, it's around 3.9 million. Into the India market size is around 1.77 billion dollars. And even if you look at the India and the global markets, we have 55% outsourced, globally outsourcing markets, and 45% is Indian service export markets. So yes, we think it is low impacted, but it can come back very strongly. Metals and mining, yes, it is highly impacted due to the China. China being one of the major lead consumption of the metals into the world, and China being moving into this slight slowdown for last couple of months. This sector will be impacted, and we are expecting 3 to 6 months of cooling period for this metal space. Yes, even if you look at the metal stock pricing prices, we think that it will take time to come back very strongly. We have already seen these stock coming correcting nearly 40-45% from the higher levels, but we think it will come back very strongly sooner or later. But as soon as China numbers come on the track, as we have already seen only PMI number as of now which are on the track, but other numbers, economic numbers, if they come on the track, we might see metals and mining coming up very strongly. Consumer durables and electronics, as now we are into the handy with mobile, we are handy with the laptops. Even if you look at the laptop sales globally in last 10 years, it is nearly 12 times, and if you look at the number from 2005 2010 and compare it with 2008 15 to 2020, we are nearly 10-15 times higher on the laptop sales. We are nearly 300 times higher in the mobile space. So durable, it will be impacted because most of the production into is China. And if I just look at the numbers, we are importing nearly 45% of the durable electronics into India from China, and China being the export are closed the manufacturing closed. So this is the sector where we think could be highly impacted. And if I just look at the market size, it is not the smallest market size. It is 764 billion rupees of market size as per FY19 numbers. And domestic consumption manufacturing is around 322 million. It is just 42%. So yes, majorly, even if you look at the domestic manufacturing, most of the parts are coming from the China. And they we can't beat any day into China on the manufacturing cost. So that's the reason we are most of the mobile manufacturer, laptop manufacturer, washing machine manufacturer, or any other durable manufacturer are importing their raw materials from the China because of their manufacturing cost. So this is again a largely hit impact. And uh, as people are moving on to this slowdown, the spending power would be very much on the lower side, and people by preferring buying 15,000 mobile, or probably 30,000 of refrigerator, they might slow down on their spendings into the consumer durables and electronics. Food and agriculture is the one we think could be come back very strongly, and it could be less impacted. The agriculture in production, like seeds, pesticides, fertilizers, and even if you remember pre when this COVID was hit, we have seen that chemical and fertilizer industries was one of the outperforming as China was shut down. Even if you look at the milk and vegetable movement which are allowed into the India freely, and I don't think that anyone might have problems buying the vegetables even this during this lockdown. Eggs and chickens are easily available. But yes, even if you look at the people are now slightly avoiding by eating some of the non-vegetarian foods. But yes, we think it is low impacted. We might come back very strongly. Oil and gas, which is moderately impacted. Even if you look at the oil and gas sector, it is directly related to customer and retail end. Yes, if I just look at the uh, consumption of fuel as of now, as most of the lockdown is there. If I just look at the number which are released by the Indian government, 60% consumption sales is down for the petrol, and I guess around 20 to 24% is down for diesel. So these numbers would continue as we are more into the lockdown till 3rd of May now, as announced today by Honorable Prime Minister. So we think this oil and fuel demand would be on the lower side compared to due to this lockdown. So we are expecting moderate impact. But once these free movements start, oil and gas can come back very strongly. Power sector again a lowly impacted. See, one advantage for power sector where we think could be a good is because people are staying at home. Electricity consumption is at the highest level now. Even if you look at the number which Bloomberg has released, uh, just they have released a number. The Indian people which are watching television, be it a Netflix, be it a Hotstar, be it a Prime or Amazon Prime or any other channel. The average people which are using television now, it's 2.6 million years of the usage which Indian haven't witnessed. So it is at the highest level of using of television. So we think electricity consumption is at the highest level. People are staying home using ACs and other electronic stuff. So we think power would be less impacted, and we are expecting that the power companies like Adani, Tata Power, or other Reliance Power might come out with their numbers very strongly in the next quarter. Telecom industry is the one again at the lowest hit. We are using mobile at the fullest. And if I just look at the mobile consumption, government has allowed around 1.5 GB to each user. So yes, telecom industry could be a beneficial for this work from home culture. And I guess the people who are working from home, they need internets, be it mobile, be it Wi-Fi, or maybe a landline, broadband, anything. So yes, telecom industry would be the beneficial with this work from home strategy. And we are very much bullish on this telecom sector, be it be Bharti, be it be Reliance. Idea, yes, we would again suggest avoid Idea because due to its financial problems. We would again suggest don't focus on Idea looking at the prices. uh, we we are getting at cheaper 4 rupees, 5 rupees, 6 rupees, but we would still avoid Idea, and we would still focus on Bharti and the Reliance, because Geo being the part had a good sales. So a clear focus should be on Bharti and Reliance looking at the telecom space as of now. So this was the COVID sectors which are impacted, and now we'll be moving on some of the charts check where we think should be a good uh, eye opening for you all. Okay, so this is the first chart. Okay, so this is the first chart of Dow Jones. So we have taken Dow Jones since 1980, and if I just look at the trend, it is still a bullish trend, and we think this bullish trend would continue to remain in Dow Jones henceforth also. So that's the reason we, as you see, these recession with the first slide which we have discussed, the recession are short-lived into the equity markets. And if you look at the Dow Jones, it is at 40 years rising trend line support. And even if you look at the previous highs, which were around 19,000, index retested those levels and coming back strongly at around 23,000 now. So from lower levels, if we look at the lower levels, we are back by nearly 15-20%, 15-18%. So we think Dow Jones would continue to shine on the positive side. Second is DAX, again the European markets. After the US market, if you look at the European market, European market, and this is the one of the outperforming European indices now. And even if you look at the highs, this if you look at these highs, which were at 2001, 2000. If you look at these highs, which were at 2001, 2009, had index yet to retest those levels. And if I just look at these 18 years, 17, 18 years of rising trend line, it indicates still DEX is into the bullish trend as of now, and we haven't breached that bullish trend yet. Okay, so we are good into the bullish scenario for US and European countries both. Coming on to the Asia now, if I just look at the Asia, if you look at this Asia, this is Nikkei chart. Nikkei has stopped in 1991, 1990, 1991. Since then, it haven't crossed its 42,000 mark levels, and it went back to 7,200. And after consolidating for nearly 15 years between 20,000 to nearly 8,000 levels, and it has broken out of this trend line. So if I just look at these trend, it is still forming higher high, higher low formation, and we are still very much into the positive into Nikkei. And if we just look why we have taken Nikkei, because Nikkei is the benchmark for generally Asian indices, and that's the reason we have taken Nikkei. We are not taken Shanghai because it's been anytime it's been shut down, anytime it's been open, they are allowing stopping their short selling. That's not the case with the Japan. They have the stream like India. They have the streamless trading rules. So that's the reason we are avoiding as of now Shanghai. But if you look at the Nikkei, it is a decade breakout, and which is still intact, and we are very much bullish on the US, European, and even Asia. And even if you look at the crude oil prices, okay, the falling crude oil prices, if I just look at the crude oil prices, the falling crude oil prices is very much beneficial to us. If you look at the current price war which is going on between OPEC, US, and Russia, okay, uh, they are now coming on to the deal that they will stabilize their production. Uh, the current OPEC production is around 10 million, and they are expecting to cut by 9.7 million barrels per day. So, which is initial proposal of 10 million. So, we are witnessing that the production might take a cut. Yes, if I look at the US, Brazil, and Canada, which contributes around 3.7 million production declines, and they have already agreed to cut that. But it could be a slight positive for the crude oil prices on the supply cut, on the production cut. But yes, during this lockdown there is no demand as of now. So you should remember also that the supply cut won't be very beneficial for crude oil prices in the short run. It will be, yes, benefit for the longer term, or probably more than a year. But for short term there is also a demand constraint. And in India, we are having a lockdown till 3rd of May. But if you look at the US or other European countries, Italy, Spain, we don't know when the lockdown will yet open, because the number of cases are increasing day by day. So we think crude oil prices are now with, as we have mentioned over there, 3P. And if you look at the top, we have mentioned 3P, the power, the political power which these countries are playing for the crude oil prices. Second is the price war which are going on between these countries like US, Russia, UAE, OPEC, and the last, the production, which now they have come to agreed to cut their production. So these three till is not clear. We think it will be impacted on the demand side also. And yes, this is good beneficial for India, because if we look at the crude oil prices, it's now trading at around $25. And if I just look at the average import prices, it will come down definitely for India, which will give an advantage into the trade deficit for India. So yes, this is very much advantage for India on the economic front, where crude oil prices are at the lower levels. We think, yes, from a trading point of view, we are expecting crude oil prices can move back to around 30 $32, which is around nearly five higher upside from $22. But on the longer term, yes, we are expecting slow and steady momentums, where crude oil prices can test back near 40 to $43. And it might take a time for nearly 8 9 months. But yes, short term we think crude oil price might settle around 20 $22 and slow and steady move toward $30 on the positive side. Yeah. So after the US, European, and Nikkei, we are coming on to the India. If you look at the screen, we what Nifty all indices breadth, which means the Nifty sectors. We like Nifty Pharma, Nifty IT, Nifty Bank, the banking space, real estate, IT. If we look, we have taken this all this sector, and we have looking at the market breadth, how they have performed in recent scenario. So we have taken data right from 2000 to 2020. So 2 decades of data. So 20 years of data. What does it indicate? If you look at the downside, the pink line. Okay. So you look at the pink lines over here. Okay. Every time the market breadth test near three and a half levels, okay, market tends to reverse. We have seen this in 2012, we have seen this 2008, 2004, 2006, even in 2000, the dot-com bubble time. All the sectors which were hit, we have seen when it tests around 2.5 3 levels marks, we have seen strong comeback for all the indices. So this is the market breadth for all the indices, which is indicating that it is finding the lost ground. Okay. Not only all indices, even if you look at the Nifty 500, which is generally known as the broader market, which includes large cap, which include mid cap, which includes a lower micro mid cap stocks. So even if you look at these data from 2000 levels to 2020 levels, so 20 years of data, again when it hits around three and a half marks, the market breadth of Nifty 500 hits those levels, we have seen strong comeback. And if we look at these momentum now, okay, if you look at these momentum now, okay, we have come from 3 back to now 25 levels mark. So which means that we are Nifty breath is coming up very strongly. And just a number to share with you all, if we look at the 19 March data, where markets were trading nearly at a 52-week low, we had out of Nifty 500, we had 400 stocks trading into the bearish scenario, and nearly 30 stocks into the bullish scenario, and 70 stocks were trading neutral, which is our proprietary deal money proprietary analysis on the measuring the stock of bullish, bearish, and neutral. And if I just look at the Friday's closing of the ninth of sorry, Thursday closing, the last Thursday closing, the market breadth has now turned with 110 bearish, 100 and more than 100 stock bullish and nearly 250 270 stocks into the neutral. So which means that the stock are now coming from bearish scenario out from a bearish scenario to the neutral, which might turn into the bullish scenario later on. So it is indicating that the market breadth is now slow and steady changing for all indices. Nifty 500, the broader market of Nifty large cap, Nifty mid cap, and if we look at the large cap, okay, uh, large cap, even if you the large cap, we have indicated that are blue chips at attractive level. Yes, blue chips are at attractive levels. So we will be discussing some of the stocks where we can look at that the blue chips are trading at the lower P's now. The lower P, which means that the valuations are at the lower level. So valuation of the most of the large cap Nifty 50 stocks are trading at around 2008 2006 lows. So we think yes, blue chips are at attractive level. And even if you look at the market breadth of Nifty 50, since 2006 2009 and 2020, it is near the same level. And at six, when the breadth test these levels, we have seen strong comeback from Nifty. So we think yes, Nifty is trading at attractive level. Nifty stocks are trading at an attractive level. Valuations are at attractive levels. So just to give a perspective of the Nifty valuation and Bank Nifty valuation. So if I just look at the Nifty PE ratio, Nifty P is nearly at the lowest level. And even if you look at the banking space, where which is generally are identified on the book price to book value, it is trading at 1.86, and we have seen a peak of 2008 at around 5.8%. 2015 was around 4%. So the red lines on the charts are the lowest level of the Nifty PE or BB, and average is the blue line or the purple line, which you can see on the screen. So we are very much near the lowest level of the valuation side. Uh, we are at the lowest levels of the valuation, and we think this could come back very much strongly. Coming on to the Nifty, yes, if you look at the charts, okay, if I just look at the charts, it is still in trading in a bullish scenario. So if I just look at these chart prices, this is the generally known as the bullish rising channel, and prices have tested this channel at around, the channel was around 7300. We made a low of around 7450, 7500, and coming back to 9000. We think slow and steady we will come back very strongly. I'm not saying that we have formed the bottom or from here market will go up, but yes, it will go up slow and steady. We might see a couple of months of pain, but so to find a gain, there is always a pain. So probably 3 months of pain and 1 or 2 years of gain. And I would think that it is a good opportunity, even though there is a couple of months of pain. But if I just look at the longer term of 1 to 2 years, we still have a gain over there. So a short term pain could be a long term gain as of now for us. And still, if you look at the Nifty, the game is on for the bulls, and this is a good time to go longs. Yeah. Coming on to the stocks where we are recommending is we have selected nearly seven stocks which are good on valuations, less impacted due to this COVID-19. Uh, and we are again, I'm recommending again, we are clearly focusing on the large caps here. If you look at the stocks name on your screen, we are focusing on the large cap because we think that large caps are very much at lesser valuations now, and we have selected those companies where a company have been nearly into the market for years. They have seen all the market scenarios, even if they have seen that recession of 2008, recession of 2000, dot-com bubble. All these companies are into the market for quite long now. So we think, considering those, we have selected some of the seven stocks which we'll be discussing in the detail. So first is Bajaj Finance. So at current market prices, if you look at it 2287, we are expecting target of 5600, which is again more than double. Why? First, if you look at the new customer acquisition, it continue to remain strong at 2.46 million. And if you look at the franchisee, it's around 40.38 billion, and it is growing year on year. And this is, I would say, this into the this company into this industry. It is one of the fastest growing company uh, into this industry across the world. I'm not only India, across the world. If you compare Bajaj Finance with any other similar company, you will find that Bajaj Finance is growing at higher pace. And for 24% year on year growth on the franchise side is a big number, big achievement. And even if you look at the GNPA, remained largely stable at 1.6% Q on Q. NNPA, net NPA improved by 5 basis point to 0.7% versus 0.6%. Total slippage, yes, there is a slight concern of total slippage rose by 19% quarter on quarter to 936 crore versus 786 crore. But yes, it is manageable because if you look at the business model of Bajaj Finance, they are not majorly into the housing finance like the home loan. If you take a home loan for a house, it around 15 years or 20 years, or probably if you look at the average India and Indians which pay their home loans are is around 12 to 13 years, because we pay slightly early payments for the EMIs. So average EMIs which is paid in India is around 12 to 13 years. But if I just look at the Bajaj Finance, they are giving the loans to the consumer products, and these consumer products last for 6 months, 9 months to 1 year, not more than that. So yes, there are very rare chances which people prefer 2 years or 3 years of loan from Bajaj Finance, and it's generally 9 months to 1 year. So on an average it's around 4.5 5 months where they receive their money. So a year, every year they are churning their money 1.5 to 2 times for Bajaj Finance. So we think yes, they will come back strongly. There is, see, a slight catch over here where we think could be a negatively impacted is because the spending power might decrease, which is a slight negative for as of now for Bajaj Finance, because people won't buy the consumable products as of now. Mobile sales would be slightly on the lower side, home appliances sales would be on the lower side. So that could be the slight concern as of now. But yes, we think Bajaj Finance looking attractive. The business model which they have is look very attractive. And if I just look at the valuation, it is trading at the lower multiples of 7, and it is the being the first mover into the NPFC which has come out shine. So we recommend buying at 2287 for the target of 5600 on the upside. On the second stock is the Divis Lab. Okay, second stock is the Divis Lab. Second, why Divis Lab? Because as we have said that pharma, this is one of the most attractive stock into the pharma space. And if I just look at the Divis, if the it has almost the significant capacity expansion of around 17 million to cater the increasing generic business, and it is one of the larger player into the generic space. So generic space are basically the Brufen which we buy, the Crocin which we buy, the Enacin which we buy. These are the generally known as the generic medicines, or the Adusol which we buy generally for cough syrups, or any other smaller the diarrhea medicines. These are generally known as a generic medicine, and Divis Lab being into this market for longer time, and they have huge market share for generic products. So if I they have nearly 17 billion INR to cater the increasing generic business. Uh, the API space and they have opportunity in the API space, and the disruption of supply chain into the China. And most importantly, if you look at the valuations now, it is trading at the PE of 48 3.x, and we recommend buy for the target of around 3160. So from current level of 2341, we still think 30% upside can be seen for the target of 3160. The other stock is HDFC Bank. Yes, one of the renowned banking stock into the industry, best among the peers. The lowest deposit cost into the industry. Cost of deposit stands at around 5.03% in March, as per the March 2019 number. And yes, it looking at the superior asset quality, pan India presence, strong return ratio, outlook looks very much promising for HDFC Bank. So we think at the valuation of 3.29, the price to book is trading at around 3.29, where we have seen this multiple go to around 4.5 5 also. We think it is trading at reasonable valuation, and being the one of the best in the industry, we think more than a valuation, the business model which HDFC Bank has amongst the other banking space is very much strong. So at current 895, we are expecting the target of 1500, and I would again highlight these stocks which we are recommending are horizon for more than 1 year. So that's the reason, looking at the targets, if you look at the targets, we are giving higher targets by 50%, 60% higher. So the horizon is more than 1 year. So keeping in mind always by looking at the horizon of more than 1 year. ICICI Bank again, we had some fiasco with the Chanda Kocherji. Problems are now being resolved. The management is back on track again. The term deposits are grew by nearly 23% year on year to 3 trillion rupees, and even if you look at the CASA deposit, it has increased by nearly 15% year on year basis. Okay. ICICI has shown strong performance again in terms of asset quality. So at 2.03 price to book value multiple, we are expecting this stock at a buy of 321, looking for a target of 640 on the upside. So we are again expecting nearly double targets for ICICI Bank also. HUL is one of the best into the industry in FMCG space, and being the lockdown, we think FMCG would be a key beneficial. We are witnessing biscuits being distributed, the HUL products has been distributed at aggressive paces. People are being into the essential products for now. HUL we think is a good beneficial, and at 2346 we are expecting a target of around 2855. And even if you look at the valuations, being the into the industry, it is has a good market share as of now. So we think it is good into FMCG space compared to the ITC, compared to the Dabur. It has a pan India presence. The network is very much stronger for HUL, and being the Unilever group, they have the expertise into each and every country. So we think HUL being at 2346, we can expect a target of around 2855. And even if you look at in these market scenario, this stock is trade had hit new 52-week highs. Yes, strongly outperforming, and we continue to recommend HUL. From the IT space, we think TCS is the best. And even if you look at the leadership in the IT space, as I have said, these we are taken up stocks which have seen nearly 2 decades of experience into their industry, and they have forte to tackle such scenarios into the markets. And we have seen Ratan Tata also coming up with the speech on a positive side. So at the only concern, yes, I have, as I said, IT space, during the IT space, they are work from home. They are capable of doing work from home. The projects are not impacted due to this COVID. They can deliver on the projects on time. The only concern here is, yes, they are unable to get new projects as of now. We are expecting for 3 to 6 months, but yes, depreciating rupee is also beneficial to them. So at current valuation of 20x, the CMP is around 715, and we are expecting a target of 2280 again. So we are expecting 2300 levels again on TCS. So being a large cap, we have taken conservative targets because it's being a slow mover. So it generally doesn't move 20-30% at a one stretch. So being a slow mover, we're expecting conservative target of 2280. And the last stock which we are recommending in Maruti again. Why Maruti? Because we have seen Maruti for nearly three and a half decades now. Suzuki into the markets for nearly 4 to 5 decades, and they know how to tackle this scenarios, such scenarios. We have seen Maruti coming back strongly also in 2008, 2009 slowdown, 2001 dot-com bubble slowdown. Maruti being the entry level, we think yes, they are into the expertise tackling these market scenarios. Yes, we are not expecting that in 3 months we might see Maruti coming back, but yes, for more than 1 year, we think Maruti can come back very strongly, and at price of 5283, it's at the cheaper valuation now. We think buying opportunity can be for 2 years, and expect again tech targets of around 7060. So I repeat a stock again. We are expecting Bajaj Finance target of 5600, CMP is 2287. BV Slab target of 3160, CMP 2341. HDFC Bank CMP 895, target of 1500. ICICI Bank CMP 331, target of 640. HUL current market price 2346, target of 2855. TCS 759 current market price, target of 2280. Maruti Suzuki 5283 target, CMP target of 7060. So that's all for you all, and thanks for again attending on this holiday. Now we can are open for a question. So in case you want to ask any question on any stock, we will are happy to answer your queries. Yeah. We will be sending these PPT to all of you via mail. So you will receive this PPT on your mail. We will be sharing the video link also. You can go through our video anytime you want. Yeah. Do you have any questions? So we got a question from Siddesh Ji which want Nest Trader demo. So you can get in touch with our customer care team. They will explain you each and everything. Yeah. Mr. Warji asking, can we have some webinar on strategies? Mr. Warji, we come up with regular webinars, and we also have a webinar series where we teach technical, where we teach derivatives, where we teach fundamentals. But yes, it is being a slightly at cost, not for free. So we charge nearly, depending upon the course, we charge nearly 2,000, 5,000, and we have also mentorship program where we charge around 20,000, where we teach everything fundamental, technical, and derivatives. And we have 1 day live trading session also on our mentorship program. So you can get in touch with our research team. They will help it to you. Yeah. We got a question from Mr. Patel. Sorry, Miss Patel, asking the market coming out from P till September depends on some of your out of. See, we are expecting because even if you look at these problem of pandemic, this problem of pandemic is short lived, and once these industry come back on track, we are out of these problem for the pandemic issue, and the sales will come back strongly. So that's the reason we think yes, this is Spain is strongly looking at the scenario. This is a slowdown, not a recession for us, because yes, by September this coronavirus impact might over and everything might come back strongly. And even if you look at, we have discussed PMI number of China which are coming back strongly. So China is coming very aggressively. Yeah. Uh, we have a question from Mr. Kadir. Why Bajaj Finance is going down so quickly? You see, Bajaj Finance has fall because of this EMI moratorium which government has allowed, and not only Bajaj Finance. Even if you look at the other financial space, we have seen underperformance in last couple of weeks from these sector financial service. But yes, this is again, as I'm saying, EMI moratorium is shortly for 3 months. They can come back very strongly for Bajaj Finance or any other housing space. So that's the reason for short term these stocks are coming down. Yeah. We have got a suggestion from Shah. Thanks for a good presentation. Thank you, Mr. Shah. And some small and mid cap stocks. See, why we are not recommending small caps and mid caps, because if you look at the valuations the large cap are having, large cap are now trading at lower valuations which were around 2008 2006. And when you are getting valuations, quality stocks valuations at lower level, why do you want to focus on mid cap and small cap? So, and even if you look at the margin of safety at current point of time, margin of safety is very much into the large cap stocks rather than mid cap and small cap. That's the reason we have clearly focused on the large caps rather than small cap and mid caps. Yeah. So, Mr. I have a question from Mr. Suraj. Can you throw some light on Infosys as an investment? Yes, Infosys also is a good bet. The reason why we have selected TCS is being the leader into this market, and even if you look at the Infosys, they have exposure to US and European more. So they might slow and steady come back. The US and European might take a time to come back due to this coronavirus. But the reason why we have selected TCS is because they have domestic market also, the India markets and China market also into their product portfolio. So that's the reason we thought that TCS could be the better player than Infosys. But yes, from investment point of view, Infosys also could be a good bet. Yes, we auto sector is badly affected. Why we are selected Maruti? Because if you look at the Maruti is, as we have said, it is into the entry level basket, and yes, by probably 3 to 6 months, pain could be there into the auto. But if I just look at the Maruti, 3.5 lakhs, 4 lakhs car is now easily sellable. And even if you look at the Maruti last couple of years of the numbers, sales numbers, the majorly sales is for WagonR, majorly sales is for the cars which are below 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs. And even if we get the Ola and Uber, most of the cars are due to of the Maruti like Desire or the WagonR. So we think Maruti can come back strongly, and they are capable, the management is capable of handling such situations. Tata, as of now, we are not avoiding Mr. Pillai. We are avoiding Tata because Tata moving into the mid to premium segment like JLR, the Tata Nexon, the other products, they are now targeting the mid segment. And mid segment, we think might take a time to come back on track. And JLR being the China market leader, so we think Tata would be avoidable then into the auto space as of now. ICICI Bank, yes, we prefer in the banking space because the dust has been now out of the Chanda Kocher's exit. Banking, even if you look at the banking space, HDFC and ICICI Bank stands out to be very, very strong into the banking space as of now. So, yes, EMI could be a short lived, but considering the banking for the HDFC and ICICI Bank, they are very much well placed. The short-term bet, Mr. Sunil, we come up regularly which in our short-term bet, the short-term trading basket product which we have or intraday basket. You can get download the Deal Money Pro app. You will find calls in the Deal Money Pro app regularly. Real-time trades would be available to you during the markets hour. So you can take download the Deal Money Pro app and just go to our short-term calls over there. Yeah. Sunil, as I said, intraday you can focus on our calls downloading by downloading Deal Money Pro app. Mr. Kadir is asking, isn't P or DV so high? Yes, P of DV is so high because we were if you look at the not only the PE, but if you look at the quarterly numbers or the yearly numbers, the DVs are announcing it is very much on the positive side, and they are on the growth trajectory quarter on quarter, year on year. So still, if it is a P is at higher level, and if you look at the DVs, even in 2015 2020 compared to other pharma stock, DVs is one of the most outperforming stock, and that's the reason we are now focusing on DVs rather than other stocks. Yeah. Mr. Sammy asking, shall we liquidate more? We would suggest try to buy more ICICI banks. Yes. Swaroop has, we have a Pfizer. Yes, you can hold Pfizer for another couple of years. We are expecting good upside on Pfizer also. We have a stock question on Tata Steel. Bharti Kund. We would slightly avoid Tata Steel as of now from investment point of view because, as we have said, that China has it strongly due to this virus. So consumption, Tata Steel consumption could be on the lower side. Metals could come back slowly. So we would slightly avoid as of now Tata Steel. Intraday crude, Mr. Prakash Raj, you can follow our calls on Deal Money Pro app for the intraday calls because we can't on the webinar we can't look for crude oil on intraday point of view. But yes, we are looking from slightly positive from mid to long term point of view for crude oil. Petroleum stocks, yes. HPCL, if you look at the Suraji HPCL, we would slightly HPCL due to this lockdown, the crude oil fuel production, fuel demand is at the lower level. HPCL would prefer BPCL over HPCL because BPCL is strong into the growth side rather than HPCL. So we would slightly suggest look for BPCL rather than HPCL. Reliance Industries, yes, we are very much bullish. Future retail, we would slightly avoid future retail as of now because we think retail space would be slightly a concern. Bata is a good bet. Yes, Bata you can look for a mid to long term point of view. Bata. IndusInd Bank would slightly avoid, and on the banking space we would look for HDFC and ICICI as of now. Yes, again we would avoid Yes Bank. Also, we are getting many questions on Yes Bank. As of now, we are avoiding Yes Bank, and even if you look at last 6 months, we are regularly suggesting avoid Yes Bank. So we are getting repetitive questions on Tata Motor, Yes Bank. Again, I have already answered those stocks. So expect not to repeat the questions, please. Gillette, yes, we are expecting very much on the stronger side from the for the Gillette. From a nearly 3 to 4 years point of view, yes, Gillette could be a good bet. SBI Life, yes, insurance is least hit into this COVID. SBI and HDFC Life both can come back very strongly. And even if you look at the valuations are trading at lower levels, so yes, SBI and HDFC Life both into the insurance space can be a good. Jubilant Foodwork, yes, Jubilant Foodwork can be a good bet because at current point of time, also during the lockdown, Domino's is working on and they are delivering at current point of time also. So yes, Jubilant could be a good bet from larger point of view. And even if you look at the SSG, which is the sales growth, are coming onto the positives for Jubilant Foodwork. So yes, Jubilant Foodwork can be a good bet. We are expecting around 1850, 1900. Britannia, yes, as I say, FMCG, we are preferring HUL because due to its wider network into the current lockdown, HUL would be the bigger beneficial. But yes, Britannia can be a good bet. Saurabh we have already discussed Gillette. You should hold on. We are expecting upside level for 1 to 2 years point of view. Tata Power or PA power consumption, PFC yes, seems to be a better than Tata Power as of now. Britannia, yes, I would continue to say, suggest, hold on. You can buy Jindal. We have got a question from people asking Jindal Group. You can buy Jindal Steel and Power, but yes, it will take time to come back. But yes, from a longer point of view, we think it's a good bet. We have a question buying. Can we buy Sun Pharma? Yes, you can buy Sun Pharma. Also, at current point of time, we have already suggesting from 330 levels and into our short-term trading bet. So we are still very much bullish on this. Saurabh we don't have view on any endurance. So in case we can get in touch with our research team. Uh, LIC housing is better or HDFC? We would suggest go for HDFC rather than LIC. Yes, ICICI Lombard. As we have already suggested, insurance space is less heat due to this. We are still preferring SBI Life because if I just look at the insurance space, they have the largest market share compared to the ICICI and HDFC. So we would prefer SBI over ICICI Lombard. IndusInd we are avoiding as of now. It's into the bearish trend, and we would suggest again go for IGFC or ICICI. Reliance, you can buy any dip towards 1100 or probably 1050, and we are expecting back to 1500 levels on Reliance, Mr. Sandhya Patel. SBI card, yes, you can hold for a longer point of view. It is being largely hit by the market downside, but yes, you can hold on for a larger point of view. Swarupaji, already we have suggested that you can buy Pfizer, and from 2 years point of view, it is a very good stock. Uh, we have a question on IRCTC. Yes, IRCTC, see, short term, we might, if you look at the trains cancellation, IRCTC has some problems, but yes, from a larger point of view, this stock can again see a good upside. Short term, we would slightly avoid IRCTC, but if your view is more than 2 years, you can go for IRCTC. We have a question asking that if lockdown is extended, there is a change in any recommendation. No, we are not changing any view in recommendation if there is the lockdown extend till mid of May or June, because we are look again we are looking for a horizon of more than 1 year. So that's the reason there is no change in any view if lockdown is extended. Cement sector, as we have seen that construction and engineering, we have already discussed that construction and engineering would be impacted due to this COVID, and cement would be the slightly avoidable sector as of now. Satyajit is asking how to read charts. You can attend our paid webinar, Satyajit. You can get in touch with our research team, and you have got a number of Mr. Umesh. You can call him and you can check the webinar dates, and you can get in touch with him. Suraj Desai, we have already discussed SBI card. It is hold. So I just share the number. Those who want to attend our paid webinar on knowledge series, fundamental, technical, or even derivatives, you can get in touch. I'm sharing the number of Umesh. Uh, you can get in touch with him. Check the dates as of now. Due to this lockdown, we have rescheduled our webinar dates, but you can get in touch with him and know I'm sharing his contact number on email ID over here. So you can get in touch with him. Yeah, you can get in touch with Umesh. He will explain you about the. I would avoid Union Bank as of now because Pileji, better is we would slightly focus on privates rather than PSUs. For recommendations, you can get in touch with your branch managers or your RMs. They will coordinate you for research calls. Or the simplest way is you can download your Deal Money Pro app. There is a tab called Research. Go into the Research tab. You will find our intraday calls, our short-term calls, commodity calls, currency calls, long-term calls, each and everything. Mr. Ravindra have want Goldbee's information about Gold ETS. You can get in touch with your RM, or you can get in touch with our centralized dealing desk. We are asking Marico as a long-term perspective. We would avoid Marico for the long-term perspective as of now. So that's all. We have taken, I guess, nearly 35 questions. And again, I would again thanks on behalf of Deal Money. Thanks for attending our webinar, and we will be coming up with such regular webinar regularly. So thank you. Have a good day, and hope that this year turns out to be a good, profitable year for you all. Thank you.